Give it to me, I'm worth it. Baby, I'm worth it. I'm worth it. Give me. Talking in my sleep at night, making myself crazy. Out of my mind, out of my mind. Wrote it down and read it out, hoping it would save me. Too many times, too many times. My love, he makes me feel like nobody else, nobody else. But my love, he doesn't love me, so I tell myself, one, don't pick up the phone, you know he's only calling cause he's drunk and alone. Two, don't let him in, you have to kick him out again. Three, don't be his friend, you know you're gonna wake up in his bed in the morning. And if you're under him, you ain't getting over him. I got no rules, I count them.
Why are you looking so dreadful?
Yeah, I'm studying GDP.
GDP is easy only lah. Come, let me teach you.
It's so hard for me.
No, come, let me teach you.
Okay, fine.
Okay, I state what is GDP. GDP is gross domestic product, is the best way to measure a country economy. GDP is the total value of everything produced by all the people and companies, if they are citizens of foreigners or own companies. If they are located within the country's boundaries, the government counts that production as GDP. Okay, GNP. GNP is gross national product. Is an estimate of total value of all the final product and services produced in a given period by the means of production owned by a country residents. Did you understand?
Yeah, I understand. What is GDP is? GDP is the total value of everything produced by all the people and companies. And if it doesn't matter it's a foreigner or the foreign-owned companies, they still count as a GDP.
Yeah, so.
So and GNP is it's a broad measure of a nation's total economy activity, and GNP is the value of all finished goods and services produced in a country in 1 year by its nation.
Yeah, that's correct. Okay, don't forget about the formula GDP. Yes, then? Yeah, okay. Explain a bit more about GDP. Okay, this is our Malaysian GDP today. Okay, this is about like 2016. Okay, this is our Malaysian's one, 296.4 billion. Okay, can you see this is Singapore? It's a bit more. You can see the line. Malaysian is still down. This is a Thailand one. Do you understand? This is what like something example I'm showing you by the internet.
Okay, I think so the Malaysian GDP is very low from other country compared to other countries.
If compared to Singapore and Thailand, Malaysia is really low. Okay.
And up next?
Up next, we have some news on this Singapore GDP.
Singapore's economy grew 2.9% year-on-year in the fourth quarter of 2016. A sharp surge in factory output helped the island economy grow at a faster pace than most had expected. Its manufacturing sector grew 11.5% from a year earlier and 39.8% from the previous quarter. The country, however, faces fresh challenges amid rising concerns of trade protectionism in the US. Also adding concerns to growth moving forward are weaker banking and services sectors. Following this, the government retained its 2017 growth forecast at 1-3%.
As you can see, Lokman, the transition of growth between the Singapore GDP and Malaysian GDP is very much in tandem, except that Malaysia is lagging behind by about 1/4 behind Singapore. The quantum is different. Malaysia's growth is about 4%, but Singapore's growth is about 2%. We know for a fact that because of the intertwined economies that we have with each other, we are the biggest trading with each other. It cannot be ignored that the fact that Malaysia grew 4.5%, it's kind of common for us to expect Singapore to grow 2.9%. Now, we know that Singapore is a developed country. We also know that Singapore's growth is going to be tapered down. So, but them growing 2.9% is very, very aggressive, in my opinion.
But here's the thing, right? You see that generally Malaysia has been growing lower than Singapore. I would say that very generally. But here's the question, right? Both of our economies are very export-oriented, and recently the government of Singapore said the manufacturing sector has recorded strong performance, contributing to the positive growth. The manufacturing sector grew by 11.5% year-on-year, accelerated from 1.8% growth in the previous quarter. So we are also an export-oriented country. Our manufacturing sector makes up a large part of our economy as well. So are we heading in the right direction in terms of the growth? I have to ask your opinion on that before I chip in.
To answer that question, we have to trigger this particular graph. It shows that kind of GDP growth between these countries within this region, Southeast Asian, quarter by quarter of last year. As you can see, Vietnam does register very strong growth, Indonesia as well. Singapore has been tapering, like I said, for the past few years, being in what even I could argue technical recession. At the end of the day, Malaysia cannot be in the same league as Vietnam and Indonesia. We need to prove that we are able to provide higher technical skills in terms of our exports. We can't beat on price. We have to beat on skill. The question is, are Malaysians ready to actually embrace that particular argument and say that we are as good as Singapore in terms of exporting high-skilled and high-quality labor? That is the argument that we have to expect from Singapore and Malaysia going forward.
Yes, we are targeting something like a 35% skilled labor workforce by 2020, which is actually in doubt by numerous quarters. But I want to come back a bit to the Singapore economy. It's called like a two-speed economy. Tech restocking should persist and other external-oriented services may improve, but household debt servicing burdens, corporate sector consolidation and job market slack may remain a drag on the Singapore economy. This is where we are different, because nations increasingly looking inwards for domestic consumption. This is because I mentioned just now that our economies are similar in a lot of ways, right? So this is where the path diverges, because we are looking inwards, they are basically not.
Definitely. So we'll keep an eye out, because there's much to talk about with this GDP discussion.
Okay, this is the current news of GDP about GDP in our newspaper. So it's take from 15 December 2017. Okay, Malaysian GDP growth since staying above 5% in 2018. Economists believe the country's gross domestic product GDP growth will remain above the 5% mark in 2018.